which I think means terrific guy. So it is my pleasure and honor to introduce Dr. Eugene Gus Newport.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Committees of Correspondence for Democracy and Socialism, I'm extremely pleased to be here. I do have to, however, apologize at the outset, though. When I was invited to participate, it was for mostly the sole purpose of introducing Jack Odell, who was to give the paper informing this particular panel. As many of you probably know by now, Jack has had some illness over the last few years and he couldn't attend. However, I've had the good fortune of speaking with Jack 3 times in the last couple of days, and he's upbeat, high-spirited, and he's looking forward to us, and he's wishing us a very good conference. I am, however, going to read the paper that he prepared that will inform this particular panel. So to save time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the short bios of the panelists before I read Jack's bio and then introduce the paper, and then we'll go there so that we can have some time at the end to have some questions and answers and some kind of dialogue. Because one of the things that Jack emphasized as we move forward from the Second Reconstruction is not about individualism but inclusiveness. No one of us has all the answers or whatever else. And with that spirit is what we hope to adopt here. The first panelist will be Michael Eisenschur, National Coordinator of U.S. Labor Against the War. He's a veteran of labor activist and educator. In addition to his work for USLAW, he teaches in the Labor Studies program at Laney College in Oakland. He has written widely about the U.S. labor movement. His articles have appeared in many journals and his chapters in 3 anthologies. He organized his first union at 18 and became a full-time union organizer at 28. Our second presenter, can you hear me? I just wanted, I got a notice to speak louder, but if you can hear me, I'm all right. I do have a voice. You can't hear? Somebody can't hear? Well, they can hear. The next presenter will be Jacqueline Cabasso. She has served as Executive Director of the Oakland-based Western States Legal Foundation since 1984 and has been involved in nuclear disarmament, peace, and environmental advocacy at the local, national, and international level for over 30 years, providing legal support for nonviolent protesters, engaging in environmental review proceedings and litigation to challenge new nuclear facilities, transportation of nuclear waste, and proposals to base nuclear armed warship, and organizing grassroots transportation of nuclear waste and proposals to base, I said that already. Let me see. Basso currently serves the steering committee of United for Peace and Justice, was a founding member of the Abolition 2000 Global Network and annual review sessions of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty since 1994 and has served as the North American Coordinator for Mayors for Peace since August 2007. She received the 2008 Sean McBride Peace Award from the International Peace Bureau and will be awarded the Agape Foundation's Enduring Visionary Prize in September 2009. Our next presenter is Steve Williams, the founder and co-director of Power, People Organized to Win Employment Rights, a San Francisco-based membership organization of low-income and working-class African Americans and immigrants, Latino women fighting for racial, gender, and economic justice. Before beginning to work with Power, Steve cut his teeth as an organizer with the San Francisco Coalition on Homelessness and the Philadelphia Union of the Homeless. In addition to his organizing work with Power, Steve has been active in various efforts to rebuild and strengthen the left in the United States. In 2005, with three of his co-workers, Steve authored Towards Land, Work, and Power, charting a path of resistance to U.S.-led imperialism of political economy and strategy primer for conscious organizers. Next, we have Frank Martin Del Campo, the union representative for SEIU Local 1021, member of the Executive Committee of the San Francisco Labor Council, and president of the Labor Council for Latin American Advancement, San Francisco chapter, constituency organization affiliated with both the AFL-CIO and the Change to Win Coalition. He also chairs the Social Council, Social and Economic Justice. He also chairs the Social and Economic Justice Committee of the San Francisco Labor Council. And finally, Bill Fletcher Jr., an old friend, is the Executive Director of BlackCommentators.com. He's also co-founder of the Center for Labor Renewal and the Black Radical Congress. He is a labor and international writer and activist. He is the co-author of Solidarity Divided, which analyzes the crisis in organized labor. Finally, I'm going to read a short bio for Jack Odell, and then I'll read his papers. Jack Odell is currently consultant on international affairs to the National Rainbow Coalition. Jack Odell is currently consultant on international affairs to the National Rainbow Coalition. Odell worked with Dr. Martin Luther King and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference as director of voter registration in 7 southern states from 1961 to 1963. He also directed SCLC's New York office, raising money to support the movement in the South. For 20 years, he was an associate editor of Freedom Ways magazine, the leading quarterly journal of the freedom movement in the 1960s and 70s, published in New York. From 1970 to 1973, Odell was associate professor of economic history at Antioch College, which is a graduate school of education in Washington, D.C., teaching courses in the comparative history of colonialism. He was a co-coordinator of the 1982 Peace March and Rally with about 1 million people in New York Central Park. He was a foreign policy advisor to the 1984 and 1988 Jesse Jackson president campaigns. He directed the International Affairs Department of the National Rainbow Coalition from 1985 to 1993. From 1977 to 1997, Odell was chair of the National Board of Pacifica Radio, an alternative listener-supported broadcasting network that serves the progressive movements in the United States. I was really looking forward to Jack being here, but as I talked to him this week, I reminded him of a meeting that he and I were in attendance at in East Germany. And it was when Jesse was running for president the second time, and we had a couple of beers, and Jack looked at me and said, you know, brother, if Jesse gets elected, you probably be the Secretary of Labor. And I said, but even more so, if Jesse gets elected, you be the Secretary of State. So Jack's response was, shit, ain't no sense in 3 of us getting killed. Believe me, he's a wonderful person, combination of intellect, confidence, and whatever else. Jack's paper is titled Reclaiming the Second Reconstruction. One November afternoon in 1939, the world-renowned artist Paul Robeson stepped before the microphones at CBS Studios to sing The House I Live In, a song whose words were written by a public school teacher in New York City. The opening lines of that song are, "What is America to me? A house, a school, or the flag I see. A certain word, democracy, that is America to me.